Hey everyone, welcome to the Creature Kids channel again. It's been a while since I posted a new video. We've been at the shop here working away on 2 more feature films on top of our short Jungle of Darkness, so it's been pretty hectic. This video, I wanted to do something new, something I'm really passionate about, and that is toy unboxings, toy reviews. I'm super into toys. If a lot of you don't know, I actually started my career as a model kit sculptor, which is like small scale sculpting, and graduating from that to toy sculptures. I'm also a big toy collector, and it's a whole different world of sculpting and designing and constructing and stuff that's really interesting. And I think it'd be a fun topic to talk about. What better way to start a toy review with a toy that is one of the greatest, coolest things in the world. And I'll explain to you the story of why this toy line is so special to me and just why this movie is so special to me. Today we're going to be unboxing the Neca Toys Grandpa Munster, or The Count, from Rob Zombie's The Munster movie. Now, as some of you know, if you've watched the YouTube before, Daniel Roebuck, who's one of my best friends, who's starring as Professor Sheridan in my short film, my Kickstarter-funded film, Jungle of Darkness, played Grandpa Munster in the new Munster movie. Dan Roebuck has been a friend of mine since I was like 12 years old. Him and his friends just accepted me as a kid, making monsters and loving collecting toys, just took me under their wing, invited me to conventions, accepting me as just a part of the Monster Kid Club, but encouraging me in a career of film and a career of art, and introducing me and helping me along the way. My first interview in the special effects industry when I was 20 years old was set up by Dan Roebuck. You know, it's just him and his family have been such an important, huge part of my life. He's also the nicest guy and a huge monster collector, which is how we got to all know each other. Having over 300 titles, movie titles, and credits to his name as an actor, and loving toys so much, obviously the one thing Dan has always wanted is a toy of himself. Dan told me that Uncle Gilbert was going to be a little cameo in the new Munsters movie, and they needed a mask. One of my best friends, Johnny Gilbert, who's one of the world's largest Creature from the Black Lagoon collectors, actually still has one of my creature masks. One of my first sculptures as I was learning sculpting was an underwater Creature from the Black Lagoon mask. They needed a Creature from the Black Lagoon mask, and it had to be the underwater mask, because that's Uncle Gilbert. They quickly overnighted my mask over to Budapest. On set, they repainted it to match some gloves and hands, and my mask got to be Uncle Gilbert in the new Munsters movie. It was this giant full circle of my best friend being the #1 Munsters fan as a kid and becoming Grandpa Munster in the new movie. And then my first sculpture being in a Universal Studios movie as the Creature from the Black Lagoon. I love the new Munsters movie for so many reasons. I thought Jeff Daniel Phillips did an amazing Herman Munster, and that is the toy I have here. The Neca Herman Munster has a beautiful illustration by Daniel Horne, a beautiful painting, and the toy is incredible. It's so cool to see Herman Munster in any form back on store shelves as a toy. Let's unbox the Neca Toys Grandpa Munster, or The Count, from Rob Zombie's The Munster movie. We have the Neca Toys Grandpa Munster. Woo! Oh, I'm so glad they packaged it nicely. Oh, geez. That's incredible. Dude, look at that. That's amazing. I don't want to open the figure yet. Let's just set one aside and let's admire that box art. So this was a painting. This is an original painting by Daniel Horne, who's an incredible painter. So the sculptors, Trevor Grove, did the portrait. Trevor has been sculpting forever. Sideshow Toys, Neca Toys. He does all the portraits. He does the heads. One of the most amazing sculptors, a traditional sculptor. So this portrait was done traditionally, both Grandpa and Herman, out of wax. So many companies and factories are now going digital because it's so much easier to do a digital portrait. You can sculpt in this scale, right, and then print it at this big. So the fact that they got Trevor to traditionally sculpt this as a toy is just the coolest. It's just the coolest. And Ray Santoleri, another incredible sculptor who's been doing this forever, I believe sculpted the body and all the accessories. So here are the credits on the bottom of the box. I mean, that's just the coolest thing ever. A toy company to give people credit. Sculptors, painters. I know a few of these people, so I'm so glad they get credit for this. Seeing a toy of this quality is just the coolest thing ever. The work Neca's doing is incredible. I cannot wait to get my hands on the Neca creature from the Black Lagoon. I met the sculptor of that recently, and he's a great guy. I think he did a wonderful job. Of course, being the creature from the Black Lagoon fanatic I do have my nitpicks, but it looks to be one of the greatest creature from the Black Lagoon toys ever made, so that's great. But let's open this up and take a look at this for the first time. Oh my god, that's just the coolest thing ever. Gosh, that costume has such an Aurora Dracula vibe. I mean, it doesn't get better. It doesn't get any better than that. As far as something wonderful happening to someone you love, you know? So with this toy, you get 2 portrait heads, both by Trevor, a real fabric cape, switchable hands, his cane, his shovel, which is the thing he bonks into when he comes out of the door. I'm going to pick the best of the ones I see already. This one has a little print discoloration there, a little pink dot. This one does not. So already I'm favoring this box. I like to judge my toys based on which one I'm going to open, based on the paint schemes of the faces. That's the most important thing to me. I want to keep my best faces in the box. This one I can already see. His eyes are just a tad offset. See how the white is slightly on his upper lid on that eye? This one looks like it's all fixed. This one looks like it's not that. So, and that's the one, that's the one with the pink dot. Well, what are you going to do? I'm going to open that one because I'd rather have the better... Well, I'm going to save that one. I'd rather have the better paint job on the toy saved in box. Because I'll save this box anyways. But I want to play with this toy. So let's crack this open and see how the Neca Toys Ultimate The Count from Rob Zombie's The Munsters movie. Let's see how he moves around. I guess, oh, you know what? Look at our bottom sticker's already like rubbed open. So, we'll just take it out through the bottom. Okay, so the cape is loose. Is it? Oh no, it is attached. It's just like separate. There's like a piece of plastic covering it. Okay, I got a nice clean little table here. I kind of like to just sever one side. I'm a pro with an X-Acto knife, but I recommend no one uses one to open a package like this. But... we're in the Creature Kid workshop, so we're using our work tools. I will say, before we even start, Neca Toys is a little finicky when it comes to their toys wanting to snap. I just recently went through an ordeal of the Neca Dracula, where I bent his little stiff arm, and I just a little too firm, snaps right off. Had to buy another one. They usually recommend a hair dryer to warm up the plastic to kind of loosen up the joints, or running the figure under hot water. I already see now, unless this cape is a separate piece, it looks like you can take the cape off if you remove the head, but we'll see how these joints feel first. I just want to get the toy out of here carefully without scuffing the paint. There we go. Okay, he's got like a little piece of plastic around his hip here. Holy cow. Joints feel alright. Be really careful, man. I don't want to break Dan. Little tiny Dan. Grandpa Dan. What an incredible thing to happen to one of the most incredible people I know. I lost my dad when I was pretty young. And Danny was there. And, so was Johnny Gilbert. And everybody else in this group of friends, this monster community, and they made me laugh, and they invited me to the monster shows, and they took care of me. And Dan put me up, during conventions in a Universal Monster sleeping bag in his living room. It's some of the best memories I have as a young kid. To just be the kid sitting around with a bunch of old guys, and we're all playing with toys and watching old monster movies and stuff. Just seeing this toy is just it's the greatest thing. It's like if you had an action figure of your dad, essentially, right? There's Danny as the Count in his 7 inches of glory. I'm going to lay him down right now and pop out the accessories here. So we got his shovel. There's his shovel. Nice little plastic. The little divots are weird. They look like little bubbles, but they're not. We get his skull cane. We get 2 fists left and right. Oh, that looks like cane options. Oh, no, those are shovel options. There's closed fists. So we get closed fists left and right. We get cane fists, like closed cane or shovel, I guess, both left and right. And that hand, that looks like, you know what, maybe that's cane topper hand. So that fits right in there. That's what it is. And then there's our second head. Now this, I always want to see how the plastic's rubbing up on the top of the head. If you kind of force the head past that, it sometimes wants to rub the matte black paint, and it like gives it like a sheen to it. So I kind of want to push that back so it's not rubbing on the flat black hair. There, see, you can kind of see. Look at it, it rubbed right there. See, so I got a little sheeny spot, a little shiny spot. Look at that paint job. That's wonderful. If you look back on the Trevor Grove portrait sculptures, Trevor sculpts them at like a large scale. Because sculpting a portrait this size would be a nightmare. You wouldn't be able to cram as much detail in as you could. So what I think Neca does, I haven't confirmed this, so this is my theory. They have Trevor sculpt them traditionally, and then they digitally scan and shrink them. It's more noticeable on this head. See how there's striations going vertically on the side of his face? See that? Look at you barely even notice it, but they're there, see? I think they digitally scan Trevor sculptures and then 3D print them that small. And I think those are grow lines from a printer. They captured that Dan in makeup. Like this looks like Dan Roebuck wearing a fake nose and a fake chin. That's like a wrinkle, but it looks like that's the fake chin line. And that's what's so cool about it. I'm going to take the cape off. So it is just a little stretchy band right there. Boop. Is it stretchy? No, it's like hard plastic. Look at the back sculpture. There's a little bit of white paint on that glove. It looks like from the sleeve. See, you can see there. But otherwise, it's pretty clean. Matte black is always hard to do because any little scratchy will get it like shiny. There's a little speck right there on the little collar. I don't know what that is. Like a little paint bubble, maybe. The jacket's kind of rubbery. Both of the jacket and the vest. You can kind of see it like continues back. Like they sculpted the whole vest and then like the little rubber jacket's a separate piece. Then you can kind of see Dan's love handle back there. I think I like smiley face better. I think I'm going to display this toy with smiley face because it just makes me happy. It's Happy Dan. It's like a little figure of Dan just being happy that he's Grandpa Munster. Cape, you got real fabric cape. Awesome. Red on the inside, black on the outside. And let's pop Smiling Dan on. So you kind of bring it like that. And I did get, NECA does sell accessory head stands where it's a nice little black base and a pole so you can display your heads. Because I always am worried about the paint rubbing off on the bottom of the chin here if I keep them displayed on the table. So I'm going to put my head on the display stand. But there he is. Daniel Roebuck as the Count from Rob Zombie's The Munsters movie. You gotta admit, that's a beautiful toy. So, I'm bringing in NECA's Ultimate Lugosi as Dracula for a size comparison. The NECA Ultimate Dracula, beautiful. I mean, obviously, I think it's the best Lugosi Dracula figure out there. Wonderful portrait, also by Trevor Grove. Just something about Grandpa, just from a mass-produced kind of figure standpoint. I love that the string is holding the cape on. Lugosi's cape just kind of like balances on his neck. Doesn't like tie on or anything. So if you like want to pull it over his shoulders, it just plops right off. Also, black on black, beautiful. Movie accurate, yes. But I mean, we all grew up with Dracula had a red inside of his cape. Grandpa's just so clean. Like, look at how clean the pants are. The fold lines, the nice iron seam here. The buttons, the vest. Look at the tension on the vest. The paint's a little muddy. Shirt looks a little muddy. It's just kind of rough
Like his pants have like this kind of texture to it. I wasn't crazy about that. Like everything is just kind of, it's very textured. It's not pleasing on the eye. Like this is a I think that's what reminds me of the Aurora kit about this, is the Aurora Dracula model kit. The clothing was so slick and smooth. I mean, obviously because it was styrene. I love that there's no texture to the pants. The collar on Lugosi too, like I love this. Let's look at his collar. It's like a shiny gloss black on the inside, and then the outside is a matte black. You can see, this nasty seam line on the inside of the collar. The outside is a little rough, all textured, all wrinkles. Grandpa Munsters standing next to Lugosi Dracula. That doesn't get any cooler. Thank you guys for watching my unboxing video. I know this is a weird just kind of thing thrown in there, but I find myself sitting there at night watching people review like Neca toys that I wish I could buy, but I couldn't afford. And I finally was like, well, this is a toy I have to buy. It just seemed too important to me to not share. And just something to have is just me remembering this. It's special for me. It's special for Danny. It's special for a lot of people in my life. So I thought it'd be fun to share. I am absolutely going to do an unboxing video of the Neca Creature from the Black Lagoon coming out. Woo! I'm so excited for that. Daniel Roebuck also has been making the rounds at horror conventions where he's, I believe, selling these autographed and stuff. So be sure to check that out. I believe he will be in Colorado next month, which I'm really excited. I'm going to get him to sign mine for me. And hopefully we could talk about Jungle of Darkness stuff. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Danny. Thanks, Rob Zombie, for doing this movie and bringing us the Munsters. So thanks, everyone, for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for joining the channel. More Creature Kid news coming soon with the projects we're working on, with the stuff we're building, with Jungle of Darkness and our own projects. So thank you.